But enough of all that. Let's check in on these spawns. It's LucifroN versus Wam. LucifroN on the Mongols in the yellow on the north side. Wam in the color red on the Abbasid in the south.
And here we go. All right, looking at the map spawn so far, what do we see here? Gold, far in the back for Wam. He has a really far back gold there. That's pretty ideal gold position that you can have. But his stone feels like it's a mile away. Both of his stones feel like they're just miles away. Both the stone spots there.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird look. I don't really know which one you even go for here. I feel like this is one where you might actually go to one and go, oh crap, my other stone's actually my home stone.
Yeah, which stone is like your actual like closed stone? They feel like they're the same distance away pretty much, and yeah, it's it's something that can happen. Sometimes the spawns just are a little bit weird. I feel like this is just my opinion, but whenever I play against Mongols, I feel like all my resources suddenly seem further away from my TC.
Of course, it's always like an extra half. It's always an extra half tile away when you're playing against Mongols.
Yeah, the Mongols, they just change the map layout, right? Like the game realizes, oh wait, this is Mongols, so let's move this a little bit further down the map. And yeah, that's how maps are made, by the way. Bitterlin can confirm this, right? Bitterlin, you're probably in chat, right?
I think it's it's a secret inherent civ bonus that they have. It's like they don't show it when you hover over the passive bonuses, but it's in there for the Mongols.
All right, Bitterlin confirmed. There we go. It is official. Mongols do move your resources further away. Surely within the next patch we will get that as a tooltip on the Mongol civilization. But nonetheless, we got Mongols, so what do we get? We get early aggression, and that is what we're seeing here. LucifroN with the Mongols going for some spearmen early on. I'm not seeing a... Never mind, there's the villager. Oh, the villager is...
Oh, double wolves.
He forgot his wolf repellent today, so the wolves kind of... They're taking a little bite out of him, so he's getting there, but he's already lost a quarter of his HP.
And Wam scouting this out is huge too, because that villager being lower, it sometimes allows you to be a little bit more aggressive towards it early or counteract that tower rush, and he's also seeing that from the very start, first hammer starting to go down.
If LucifroN commits to that outpost, it is going to go up in time before the military wing finishes. This is still going to finish in time. 1 minute it takes for the outpost to be built by a single villager. I think that was the timing. So now he really needs to hammer away at that, because the military wing is coming in soon.
Yeah, and so here's where you're Wam. You kind of have two choices. One, you can just say, all right, you can have those berries, you can have that stone, and I'm going to move out to a different location. The other east side stone, most likely. Or you pull Vils, you go for the burn, and now your military units are going to come out in time, because there's no way your two spears can actually defend this up with proper micro.
Yeah, there's no way that you can defend against this. I mean, the spearmen just don't do enough damage. He's gonna burn the outpost down before it gets finished. Potentially.
Potentially.
Actually, one more fight, one more torch.
Oh my god.
Ooh, it's down. It's destroyed. He gets a villager
micro.
for it, though. He gets a villager for it, so it's not all doom saying. Little bit of an issue for him, though. He idled his entire food economy. I'm not even sure if he has a villager in queue right now in his TC. Nah, I think he does. Yeah, he has a villager in queue again. But that is still value, right? That still helps him out quite... Oh, he didn't even have the pop space for the units.
Oh my gosh! The villager, I think, snuck around too on the west side, if I'm not mistaken. Unless that's the Khan.
No, that's a villager.
Yeah,
the Khan has the bigger hitbox. Oh, that is so LucifroN.
Yeah, so he's gonna sneak around. He's gonna just try to drop a secret tower. And Wam Scout, he's trying to find the villager. I'm pretty sure he has no idea where this villager is. And look at that vision. This is where you you gotta find this. You gotta make sure you're not having an outpost get put up in your base, because this is going to be crucial. It gives all the knowledge that LucifroN needs.
And here we go. I mean, this spawn is just too perfect with the neutral markets not to go for Silver Tree. Perfectly in the corner. That is where you like to see it. And with that, LucifroN is going to be going for the silver tree. Wam on the other side, he is going for that second TC. So it's going to be a TC versus trade kind of game. And yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, one thing I'll mention though is Wam definitely had some TC idle time. We see the villager count up at the top. He's down 2. And usually Mongols is supposed to be down 1 because of their TC getting placed, or about half, because it takes a little bit of time for their TC to get placed down and whatnot. But instead, LucifroN's basically up 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what happened when he pulled all of his villagers off for food for an extended duration. He just didn't have enough food in order to constantly produce villagers there, and it hurts a little bit, but he's gonna make more villagers, and oh, look at that. He's got more wood. He's just gonna drop another outpost somewhere else, and man, that is so sneaky. You can just drop an outpost there on the other tier spot, and then like 5 minutes from now, Wam is gonna move over there just with villagers. Boom, outpost with emplacement.
Well, not only that outpost, it's gonna get upgraded. I think it actually might be in range once it's upgraded to start hitting
the spears in it too.
Oh my god! And he's gonna get there too. Yeah, it's gonna be in range to hit the berries and deny the berries.
That is, man, wow. That's amazing gameplay right there. I mean, I'm not favoring Mongols at all. People
there
know
it
that
is.
about me.
1 vill down, another vill down. Wam hadn't reacted yet. 2 vills down.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, no.
That is massive. That is massive. 6 villager difference right now. I mean, 4 villager difference. 2 of those are traders for LucifroN, but it hurts nonetheless.
Ah, this feels devastating now. Obviously, having this bird's eye view, like, yeah, Wam gets a second TC down, but look at what's going on in his base. He's denied off of gold. He has 2 spears there to try to protect it.
LucifroN just playing this one so aggressively, and it's working out so well for him. Now he's also getting the hardened upgrade on his spears, and the archers from Wam, they just weren't able to deny this because he just didn't spot it. LucifroN was so sneaky about that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's where when Wam first pushed that outpost and he denied it, he had to try to keep track of the villager. Obviously, he wasn't able to do so. I feel like he was trying to find it with a scout, but just assumed that it went home. In reality, it just did a little banana loop back around and built that sneaky outpost.
Banana loop indeed. Oh, TC firing on the Khan. Could it be a GG Khan right there? Oh, no, he lives. That's close, but the Khan lives, and now Wam is going to be working on connecting his TC with the aura from his House of Wisdom. Also, he didn't put the main market, the silver tree, in the corner. Instead, he made another market and moved that one over there, or he built a market there in the corner. Yeah, it looks like he built it in the corner as well, as he has another villager right next to it building outposts, so he can use that to secure his trade further. And now he can have 2 potential markets producing traders at the same time. Look at that, another forward outpost here using the stealth forest. Cole would call that a stealth forest abuser, but that's just beautiful gameplay right here.
Yeah, those secondary TCs, they don't provide vision into those stealth forests, so it just such, like, whenever I see a TC go down next to especially on like hideout, or not hideout, on high view when there's a ton of stealth forest, it's always so risky, and LucifroN punishing that positioning with this easy outpost that's going to come up. Oh, and more villagers.
And the aggression is just so on point right now for LucifroN. He's double produced a lot of the archers right now. That's how quickly, that's how he got so many archers so quickly out on the field. And yeah, Outpost is gonna go vision again. And once again, the archers just dive in. Do lose a lot of HP for it though, with that TC being there now. Wam just recues them onto a little bit more safe task there.
Oh, arrow slits though being upgraded. Outpost coming down. That outpost, it's gonna get built, or gonna have those hammers coming down a little too late, as arrow slits will finish, and I believe we'll start firing down on that vill.
Yeah, military right now, it's looking rough. Wam has been on 2 TCs for a while, but the trade just has been scaling better, because right now LucifroN, he's on 41 economy. Oh, it's actually in range of the building villager too, and there was no room in the TC. Absolute disaster right now for Wam, as he's losing a lot of villagers in this game so far. Already 4 villagers have gone down, and even more because of idle time on the TC, due to not having enough food early on with that outpost rush coming up there.
And look at the outpost. It chokeholds Wam so he has nowhere to go. He's tried to wall up, try to protect himself, doesn't have gold really. Another raid coming in onto his gold vein, and those Keshiks are just going to dive back and forth over and over again because they have an outpost to defend themselves.
It looks like Wam has had enough of all of these outpost shenanigans. Now he's dropping the Ram in order to bring LucifroN to Wam here, and yeah, that's gonna be the plan here for him. But the issue is that LucifroN behind all of this has more military numbers. It's gonna be really tough for Wam in order to like mass an army in order to just take down these outposts.
Yeah, I mean, first Ram headed towards that one. It doesn't take but a few shots, and archers are there to immediately deter the spears, potentially. But all of those infantry units, they just take free damage from the outpost now, too.
Yeah, LucifroN is just going to be focusing the spearmen here. As soon as the spearmen are gone, the Keshiks can engage, but there's enough spearmen to survive here for quite enough time.
Yeah,
so the outpost goes down, and then the spearmen die too.
Outpost 100% goes down, but there's a ton of other pings going on at the other TC. LucifroN is still having a ton of success with all this because guess what? Now, there's a dead villager right there. So I guess the archers are still just those two archers are still just poking in at those berries non-stop.
This is quite a lot to deal with right now for Wam, and let's not forget there's always the pressure in the back of your mind that behind this LucifroN is trading, and it's not just any trade, it's Mongol trade, getting bonus resources, and the traders move faster as well, and LucifroN is producing a lot of Keshiks behind this. I would really like to see Wam investing into a single camel just in order to debuff these Keshiks now.
Yeah, Keshiks should try to dive on top of this Ram, as now this Ram doesn't have as much protection. Yes, it has the TC, but villagers weren't quick to be inside there, as Wam wants those villagers to be working. And the Ram goes down.
Taken down. 250 resources lost there, and
oh, villagers jumped out the wrong side.
None die though. But low HP villagers are just fodder for these Keshiks, and now Wam further walls up. It's not a completely closed-up wall, though, which means that the Keshiks can, in theory, just try to slip by, and now LucifroN is dropping down even more production buildings, and he's just going to mess up more and more armies. 17 traders right now as well.
And that number is going to continue to climb faster and faster, especially once he feels like he has secured even more positioning for himself, and it's probably going to be here pretty quick that we're going to look back, and 30 traders or so, that line is going to be looking thick.
It's fine though, right? Abbasid is OP. And look at that. Wam, he has a good food bank right now. Maybe he can go up to Castle Age, and then with composite bows, there are few armies that can stand in the way of the Abbasid Empire.
I will not disagree with that one. He's already kind of in the right composition for that composite bows. 28 archers out on the field. Problem's just that Keshik number is looking scary.
Yeah, Keshik number almost even to what a spearman number he has out on the field, and that is not a kind of like relation between these two armies that you want to have. You want to have more spears than your opponent has knights, and we can see the army value right now. LucifroN almost 50% more army value.
Oof. And again, with the eco numbers being behind for Wam, the only way he's finding himself a way to catch up in this is if he gets up to castle. Eco wing is queued on up a minute and a half until he gets there.
And there we go. Wall isn't fully complete, which means that the Keshiks are just going to be able to dive. Or not. He's got the opportunity. He chooses not to here. Doesn't want to waste his Keshik numbers right now.
He was thinking about it.
Villagers going to that second deer spawn. Dropping an outpost there just to be secure. 2 outposts, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going out with 20 villagers, I wouldn't even complain about a third.
Spearmen are going on tour there. Is he just going to try to raid? Oh my god, the age up timing is going to be
like the same.
Completely identical. Yeah, curl tie. 19 villagers on it. And once the curl tie is there, there's no villagers there. Nothing to protect the TC. And LucifroN knows. The TC, is it just going to get taken down? I don't think... It's connected, I think. It's connected. It should have the
torch
bonus armor there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this still hurts a lot.
That's a lot of damage that went down on that TC. It's a third of that health just disappeared. And Kurltai, he finishes it 20 seconds ahead of time due to the quick rush in. And this is just where trade's so online. It allowed him to equalize that resource count so fast.
Mongol is a completely bug-free civilization, by the way. Just saying the packing mechanic, it's working great.
And he's back on that TC again. Wam, he knows Wam needs the upgrades. He's about to have the upgrades in ahead of time, and so thinks that he can take this fight, knows that he can take this fight.
Yeah, there we go. Veteran C on the Keshik's already in, and now this is going to be a disaster for Wam, as LucifroN is just going to be going straight for the deer villagers there. Villager is looking for a spot inside of the TC, in the outpost. Does find it in time. There's still a lot of time left until the upgrades finally finish, and in the meantime, LucifroN, he can just wait for his Kurltai to arrive. There it is. He's gonna pack it up exactly where the TC was.
Composite bows, though, not too far away. Villagers have to jump inside yet again. A ton of Wam's food eco is being idled here with this, but the archers have been spotted out a little bit out of position by LucifroN, and so Wam might be able to kind of equalize these numbers or continue the military lead.
Pierce damage upgrade hasn't been queued yet, though, for Wam. He's missing out on that one, and it's gonna hurt him a little bit. It's a lot of value, especially with the faster attack speed. And that has come in, and now he's going to start to take the fight here. But the Kurltai is there, and that means a lot of healing, a lot of additional damage on these units. Wam continues to kite back here with the Spearmen. Also veterancy up on those as well right now. But the Spearmen go down pretty fast here.
Yeah, Spearmen are just disappearing due to that Kurltai archer damage on the backside. Keshik's just cleaning up the front as well, continuing to chase down, use that mobility. Villagers heading on away, and Wam is looking like he is in a struggling position, down a ton of eco and now down military too.
This definitely hurts army value. Double for LucifroN, and Wam knows that he cannot win against the OP Mongol trade, and he has to tap out on this one. LucifroN just played this one absolutely beautiful. The outpost play there in the back of the base from Wam, going unseen, killing villagers everywhere. And you can see the villager graph. It's just not looking good for Wam there. And I mean, that game, it went as bad for Wam as it could have gone. And gotta feel sorry there at some point for him, man. That was really rough when he played it against the way LucifroN played it.
Yeah, just able to have that sneaky outpost in, and then just losing a couple vills here and there really just makes that second TC timing take so much longer to pay off, if paying off at all, with his opponents going trade.
Yeah, let's take a look at the economy count. That gives us a little bit of a clearer picture, because in the villager count towards the end, Wam was ahead. When we take a look at the economy count, we see that with the traders, it paints a more clear picture. Because with the traders, we see that Wam was never truly ahead, even though he was on a second TC.
Yep, and that is just that a Mongol ability to be on that front foot and still invest in the eco behind with their trade. But game number one behind us, game number one behind Wam, wants to get that early game, little bit of mistakes behind him and just move on and put it past, and let's see what we have in store for game number two.
Yeah, military count looking rough there. That last fight definitely hurt him. Let's see what game number two has in store for us. It looks like it's going to be on Canal, and we see LucifroN with the English against Wam's H3. Now, this is a matchup that we've seen earlier. It was quite close there as well. That was Demu versus Sort of, I believe.
Yep. Yeah,
and I really loved how Sort of played it, but it was just small mistake there in the end. Not having enough wood for a lumber camp kind of cost him the game then.
Yeah, it definitely cost him the game, as it was prime time right when he was in the thick of things. They were battling out on the canal. They were battling out against the longbows with the archer masses and everything, and then he just didn't have the ability to produce anything anymore with that much idle time on his wood eco.
Yeah. All right, looks like there's not too much time left until we go into our canal game, so not going to be too much longer until we go in there. Before that, though, there's something that you might have that we want, and it's called Twitch Prime. If you've got a Twitch Prime sub, there is one space where you should leave it. On EGCTV here on Twitch. You support not just EGCTV, the casters, the community, you support the entire Age of Empires 4 tournament scene. So if you still have your Twitch Prime sub laying around, now is the time to use it here. But it doesn't need to be a Twitch Prime sub. It can be any kind of sub. It can be a gifted sub. It can be a donation. It can be a cheer. Anything helps EGCTV. You got a call to arms community support goal here on the bottom right-hand side. And with your sub, it goes a long way. You support the entire EGCTV scene, the entire Age of Empires 4 scene. It is very much appreciated if you sub here.
Yeah, and if we hit the 1,000 goal here today, Crackedy did say he is going to Vil only English until Conk 3. But in the meantime, we're starting back down. That is the sub sound from the lobby. We figured it out. But Canal, it's Wam in the west. It's LucifroN in the east. Wam on HRE and LucifroN on English.
And here we go, Canal. What a map. We've seen a lot of interesting games here on Canal so far. Actually, looking at it right now, is Wam not going out for water? It looks like Wam isn't actually going out for water at all. Instead, he's starting this one off with military from the get-go.
That seems very odd to me, considering I feel like you almost have the ability to get a dock up, then get a barracks down, and have that extra bit of food production to where your barracks is never being idled, and you're going to end up having the ability to age up behind this. This feels a little bit more of a all or nothing play almost.
Yeah, something like that for sure. I mean, if he's not going to be able to deny the dock, if he's not going to be able to fight against the men-at-arms in the Dark Age, it's going to be really, really rough for him when the H-up comes in.
The first spear's running on over there, and that English villager, it might get a short bow shot on it, but spearmen should push that English vill on away and home.
Nice fishing ship already produced. Doesn't have enough wood right now for barracks. It's going to take him a while to get there. Villager there on the dock might be in a little bit of trouble here once those spearmen arrive.
Yeah. And the bigger question is what will LucifroN's reaction to the spearman rush be? He just had his second fishing boat pop on out. The villager was just so quick to run on away and escape. And it looks like I see a barracks maybe getting dropped in his home base.
Yeah, looks like there's a barracks. Yep, there it is. Barracks being dropped here by LucifroN now. So it's going to be able to produce some men-at-arms here. Now, we talked about earlier, men-at-arms in the Dark Age, they've been nerfed a little bit, so they don't have the 3 melee armor anymore. Instead, they're now on 2 melee armor. With that, the spearmen are able to take way better fights than they used to.
Yeah, my big question here, though, is like, is the men-at-arms number ever going to be able to equalize and get to a point where this fight can be beneficial that they can take before the dock goes down? Because Wam's at 6, and LucifroN's have 1 men-at-arms, and doesn't have another in queue yet.
Yeah, I mean, the fishing ships should still be able to gather enough fish, I feel like, to pay for themselves, pretty much. But it's definitely still going to be a rough play. It's going to be tough for LucifroN to retake water here. Actually, LucifroN, he's ahead in villagers right now somehow. Never mind, that's the fishing ships they also pay. They also play into that metric there in the top. For a second, I thought it was just villager idle time. Yeah, lots of spearmen out on the field right now. The one benefit that LucifroN has here is his barracks is closer, so he's gonna need less time, and he's actually pulling villagers right now with the short bow. So could that be his way of trying to equalize the fight here by pulling the villagers? The dock's about to start being on fire.
I mean, the only thing that pulling the villagers, though, it's you've made 2 fishing boats. You're pulling 4 villagers. You're not really getting an economic benefit unless you fully secure this and make sure to wipe all of these spears. The short bows, though, they're on the way, and the spears having to run back.
I mean, the villagers are able to take from the shoreline fish here, so it's not the worst thing here for him. That also helps him make more men-at-arms from home. But it still hurts. But the men-at-arm count is starting to mass up here a little bit now, up to 5 men-at-arms, so it's gonna get better and better here for LucifroN as it continues, and with the short bow, it's gonna be tough here for Wam to go for any fights. He still has his Proud at home, so not choosing to use that one for any early fights here. And it looks like Wam also went for his own dock at one point, so he's gonna be able to scale economically in that way as well. Spearman
Looks like he's just going for the
able to
vills.
run past.
Yeah, just run past the men-at-arms, go for the vills.
There he goes, able to take down villagers. No villager died yet. First villager went down.
2 vills
Second villager about
down.
to go down.
Maybe a third even, but yeah, at this point though, what's LucifroN do? He turns those men-at-arms and heads straight for Wam's base. So Wam, he needs to do almost like what 3DB did the other game and just pull this military mass away from his base. That way he can have his mass back up. He can equalize the feudal age count or maybe defend this, because now 7 men-at-arms, he needs like almost double the spears.
Yeah, this is going to be really rough with that many men-at-arms. He just lost a lot to those men-at-arms. Like, he lost 5 spearmen there. He could be on 13 spears right now. Villager going forward. Interesting. Not quite sure what he's going for there. Spearman just trying to single out that one villager, but villager is just going to run to those men-at-arms. Going to make it really, really hard for those spearmen to follow. It looks like behind this, Wam is just going to realize that he probably can't take this fight now.
Look at the circle back.
Oh, he might actually be able to burn the dock down.
If that, I mean, I think that one villager's still somewhat near and healthy, but the dock's about to get put on fire, and that's still just resources that have to be expended. Villager does end up coming back. Spear's still trying to track it though. Doesn't make this the most easiest situation, and Wam now is up to 4 fishing boats.
Yeah, he's got some food economy going there now, and he's able to try to pick off the villager here.
Look at the body blocking though. Look at the body blocking.
That is so
Unbelievable
annoying
job.
to play against. Yeah, that was well played. That was well played. Now the dock is going to be able to be repaired. But behind that, Wam is going to be fairly close to aging up. And if he's going to be able to age up, then he's going to be able to upgrade his spearmen. Upgraded spearmen are going to be able to do much better against these men-at-arms. He's going to be able to make his own men-at-arms. But most importantly, he's going to be able to make a galley. With the galley, that means that his dock is going to be pretty safe. Worst case, he can also make another dock on the other side of that.
The gold though. This is so key. Think about LucifroN's timing. You'd think that LucifroN would be ahead in eco, and all Wam needs to do is build, like you said, build another dock. It won't be a big deal, and he's delayed LucifroN over and over and over again with this feudal age timing. No gold able to be gathered, and 2 villagers rebuilding that dock.
Yeah, and another dock just coming up here on this side. So with that, even if that dock goes down, he's going to have another dock. But actually, LucifroN is pulling some men-at-arms now. Might be able to be in time to deny that dock from going up.
Oof, but he's got bigger problems. The 12 spears, you mentioned it. Chapel about to finish. Once 12 spears get upgraded, those men-at-arms no longer trade too easily.
Yeah, and he doesn't have too many spears there in order to defend that. Initial dock does go down, but 3 more villagers have been pulled to build on the other side, so that is definitely going to go up. Now the spearman upgrade is going to be coming in, and he should be in a position to burn down the other dock. Needs to cancel that first dock, not to lose too many resources on that.
And actually, this second dock might get denied, or he just full commits to it. Spears upgrade comes through. 2 more men-at-arms headed that way. Wham! Full commits into this, loses a vill, and cancels the other dock.
Yeah, but now the galley can come out, and this is big. But it looks like LucifroN is trying to wall the middle side, but there are still units here. There are still spearmen here. If the spearmen spot this and are able to block it out, that means that the entire fishing economy from LucifroN might be in trouble. But the villagers are taking a path on the other side of the canal. I think the wall is going to finish. Yeah, Wham's spearman out of position.
I'm shocked though that Wham didn't full commit into denying the dock. I felt like he could have burn it down with the way that it was starting to trend towards, but instead he's just headed towards the gold vein, and the gold is what he's focusing on. And another vill goes down. Great surround here.
He's blocking.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, not quite able to fully surround, but there is another 2 villagers likely going down here now. Oh, maybe another one. No, not quite going down there.
What a huge pickup, though. Just crazy, crazy back and forth here. LucifroN somehow up in the overall eco count, and that's because he's back into this investment onto the water. The wall has finished on up. The men-at-arms are trying to cross. They have the upgrade coming through as well.
An additional dock is now being dropped by Wam as well. I think he wants to play the water game here. He does have the spearman there. Might be able to burn through that wall in time. There's still some time left until the galley comes out. I think he's not going to be in time, though. I think the galley's going to pop out, and with that, it's going to be tough for Wam to be able to burn that that palisade wall down.
Yeah, he's got men-at-arms of his own on the way. He's got 2 galleys of his military ships already, and they're getting pretty close to the fishing boats. I'm pretty sure if that next bit of shoreline fish runs out, that that just happened. The galleys are able to shoot at him.
Oh, yeah. That last one, at least, is going to be in range now. Hulk also coming out for him. Hulk has a little bit more range, I believe, so if he puts that in the front, he might be able to safely burn that down with his units there.
Well, the first fishing boat gets taken down. The Hulk also will do a much better job at forcing LucifroN's galley away, because if it steps up, it takes damage from the counter unit.
This is still rough. A lot of micro needed here in order to avoid taking too much damage from that galley. LucifroN behind us, he's making more men-at-arms. He's mixing in some of his own longbows. He's preparing for a big fight. Now he's got his own Hulk out as well.
Yep, galley should back away. Wam needs to realize this before losing his galley. There it is.
Careful. Yeah, okay.
The wall's burning, though, and this means that LucifroN will have to have a villager come repair this, or it's going to be open.
He's
galley?
losing the galley.
Yeah. Just throwing it on away.
Oh god, that was not a good trade here with the galleys. Almost losing 2 galleys completely. Now also making a demo ship. Demo ships, though, so tough to make on this map, especially with all the longbows that LucifroN has made in the meantime. Longbows are going to be in a good position in order to take down those demo ships. And looking at the map right now, it feels like Wam is sort of walling himself in. I'm not sure if his military is going to be in shape in order to take down what LucifroN has in store for him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the wall is a weird choice to say the least. Men-at-arms and spears, though, pushing up all of LucifroN's army, not hearing together. Wam's a little bit distracted on both ways. Demos on either side, starting to push forward. They just run right past each other. Wam's demo gets blown up, second demo gets blown up, and same thing goes for LucifroN's.
Military here from Wam fighting a fight that I don't think they can win. That's a lot of spearmen still in the mix, and he does have the ranged armor upgrade, but LucifroN also has the ranged damage upgrade, so it kind of like evens itself out. And yeah, Wam has to retreat here. Movement speed upgrade not in yet.
Yeah, just absolutely canceled each other out. LucifroN, I feel like there was a big point in the game where Wam felt like he was having a lot of momentum, and now that's starting to transition back into LucifroN, who is getting to that sweet spot for the English, which is longbow numbers getting to 16. I would say like 20, 25 is really when you feel like you stop being able to like do anything against them.
Right, Hulk's doing their job though, being very annoying to these men-at-arms. I'm not 100% sure what exactly Wam's game plan is going to be here right now. He keeps massing like galleys on water, but the galleys aren't going to be doing too well against the longbowman mass, so he has to be really careful with that and not fall into the same trap that Sort of did.
Yeah, and another thing you'll notice is his land mass. He only has 13 men-at-arms, and LucifroN has 12 himself. So if we're not even including the longbows into the mix, it's basically even numbers on land, and you could just walk right past that canal.
There's a lot of units right now streaming out of the base from LucifroN. He's just non-stop producing these longbowmen right now, and it's becoming really difficult. Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
That was a close one. But the men-at-arms count right now for Wam, it's getting lower and lower, but it looks like he's actually going up to castle age here pretty soon. What's he gonna go for? I feel like in this situation, with how many units are out for LucifroN, I don't think he can immediately go for relic capture or something like that. But he already has invested into barracks, so I don't want to see Burgrave. It should still be Ragnitz, I think.
Yeah, it's just, it feels bad when you go Burgrave with already having that many barracks out, and men-at-arms already being out on the field is actually a somewhat benefit for going Burgrave. But now Wam's kind of lost his mass, and I'm scared for him to go Regnitz even too.
And it is going to be the Burgrave instead. It looks like Wam is going to go for that all-in with the Burgrave play. He lost a lot of men-at-arms, though, on the retreat there. Actually losing like 3 additional men-at-arms. That hurts a lot. And there are still a ton of longbows out on the field. And his food economy might be in danger because he doesn't really have any food economy on the top half of the map. Only on the bottom half is there deer and boar.
Oh,
he loses it all.
That's over. That's just GG right there as all the water eco is gone. I already mentioned his land eco, his land military mass is not really there, and he is going to now have to fall back. He does have walls, but walls might not be up for too long.
Oh, demo, potentially. Ah, not quite there. Gets sniped by the longbowman. And now Ajab is going to be coming in, but he has no food economy left. He's not going to be able to mass a big army.
And even still, it takes a while for you to get the numbers that actually matters. There's 28 longbows on the other side, not even including the front line. And there's no men-at-arms upgrade in. There's the second ranged armor upgrade, but that needs to be prioritized ASAP. And oh no, there's just a wide open hole.
Very, very wide open hole. Oh no, there's some villagers. Go back. Back to the TC you go. Has to stay there for the time being. Some men-at-arms in here. TC being able to defend. But the longbows are going to get a couple of will kills here. There's not enough space inside the TC.
Not even close to, and they're just going to pick off every single villager that they can. And LucifroN's fine with trading this mass because guess what? Behind this, his eco's untouched. He can stop producing and probably match up a Castle Age timing or just continue to produce and go for the throat.
Does have those options, but now he also has to go for a little bit of his own farm transition or go out on the map as he's doing right now. He hasn't fully destroyed the docks yet though for Wam, so there's still a chance for Wam to somewhat come back on water. LucifroN doesn't have too many ships right now. He has a Hulk, a galley, and a demo ship, and that's it.
Yeah, I think LucifroN should know that with this men-at-arms production, Wam has to be getting food from somewhere, and Wam's moved out to 2 different berry bushes that are fully just vulnerable as could be.
+2 ranged armor is in for Wam, so he's taking not too much damage here from these longbows.
Looks like nothing over here. He's got 9 men-at-arms, and they're just running on forward, taking the shots of 20-25 longbows on the other side.
Demo ship gets destroyed. Might actually be able to take down the galley here as well now. And with that, he can produce... Actually... Oh, no. Oh, no. He sawed-offed himself. He doesn't have wood left. He doesn't even have enough wood for another lumber camp.
Oh, no. Are you calling it a new thing now? he's got some wood.
He's got wood. He just pulled the villagers off of wood. It's fine. It's fine. I was worried there for a second. I was very worried there for a second. But he still has wood in the back. He has wood in the back.
And LucifroN going for some similar walls on his side, just making sure to delay those men-at-arms from actually doing damage to his eco, allow his longbows to just keep kiting them out, even though I think those men-at-arms could probably clean that up at this point.
Yeah, he does have a good number of men-at-arms right now out on the field, more coming in from his own base. He does have a good number of farms as well, so his food economy is getting better and better. Just needs to get past these walls, and right now LucifroN still needs a little bit more food in order to click up to the next age. I think that Wam somehow needs to work on the army count from LucifroN though. Oh, that could be a disaster.
Wam,
right now.
if Wam spots this out, he can come back into this game, but he doesn't spot it out. He's headed straight for the eco. The King's Palace is in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, that's such a ballsy King's Palace, but yeah, he can't really go for it right now. And then in the middle, it's really hard for him to do aggression as well, because there's the ships there. So even with the men-at-arms, with all the armor that they have, it's still tough to engage on that. And look at that, just another layer of walls. Actually, the villagers also repairing there as well. Gate coming in as well behind this. Yeah, I mean, LucifroN's just doing everything to keep it up, but now that the economy has been found, and I mean, these men-at-arms, they're still great at taking down these villagers, and that's just too many to all put inside of the TC, and Wheelbarrow isn't in for LucifroN.
Yeah, tons of his eco being idled. This is that Burgrave timing push that just hasn't been dealt with yet. LucifroN kept producing for a while, didn't quite have that castle age out in time, and upgrades still aren't through yet. He's going for the burn on the King's Palace.
King's Palace doesn't have as little HP as it used to. It now has normal landmark HP. But all of this aggression here allows Wam to fully take control over the top part of the map. Could also go for the boar that's up there in one of the corners. But looks like his economy is looking pretty good right now, though LucifroN has a good bunch more villagers right now.
Yeah, I mean, Wam stabilized the positioning that he was in before. I'm shocked we're at the point we are now, as I thought it would be long over. But stabilized, and Men-at-Arms just proving to be that unit that if you don't respect them, then they're going to take it to you.
Yeah, it looks like LucifroN is respecting it, though. Now he is massing up a lot of crossbows. A lot more in queue as well. That could be tough for the Men-at-Arms to deal with, and I think Wam needs to rethink his plan now. Maybe go into Horseman, but it does still feel bad to go into Horseman here. And the landmark actually gets burned down, though. This is quite nice now for Wam being able to burn that down. Means that there's not going to be that additional scaling coming in and potentially body blocking all of these villagers.
Yeah, that's a huge pickup there, as now all of a sudden we look, eco numbers, they're not that far off from each other, considering Wam has inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is pretty much just a ship now. Oh, the crossbows are getting surrounded.
This is a great job by Wam so far, but crossbows just kiting back from LucifroN. Micro's still there, gets those crossbows back and away, and Wam will need to regroup back up, rebuild that mass again.
The important count is just reducing the army count, because there were just so many longbows out on the field for LucifroN. Getting those numbers down is already quite big value here for Wam, but he needs to work on being in a position to remass his army all the time. I think the farm transition is looking somewhat good for Wam behind that in his base. Look, just judging from the minimap, he's also going for the deer here. Yeah, it's a good couple of farms there. Let's not forget they're all inspired, the villagers working there, so every single villager is getting more than 1 food per second.
Yeah, and you can't forget that Wam also has relics that have been coming in, grabbing sacred sites, so getting these passive resources in the bank will probably pull off some of those vills off of gold up in that north side, because he's starting to get a ton of passive gold in.
It's now, though, on the field for LucifroN, so we got a knight and crossbow composition. Now, with that, Wam is going to have to be careful. I'm not 100% sure what unit exactly Wam should make. I don't think there's a single unit that he can make here in order to deal with this. I think it has to be a combination of units. I think maybe like Spearman and Horseman is going to be something that he might need.
Yeah.
The question is, does he have the food for it?
Yeah, Spearman's just so hard to make against the English, considering he's already got so many ranged units out. But crossbows and longbows stepping forward, Men-at-Arms still nowhere to go. That middle area is just not a spot they want to find themselves fighting in, nor do they want to fight this mass that LucifroN has out.
Oh my god. Okay, and Wam just calls a GG right there. Game number 2 going the way of LucifroN. It felt like Wam probably just didn't feel like he could win this one. Even though it looked good there for a while for him, or it started to look better and better for him, just the army composition, I feel like he probably just thought that he couldn't quite deal with it in an effective way.
Yeah, I definitely get where he was coming from. It was very hard to deal with it. He still didn't have any bit of water denied or secured for himself, so probably just thought he was way farther behind on the eco than he actually was.
That's going to be 2-0 for now. Can Wam pull it off? Can Wam pull off the reverse sweep? We will see in our game number 3 here in this last set of the day.
Yes, we will. Can we potentially see another reverse sweep, or will LucifroN show why he is just known as one of those top players in AoE 4 as well?
All right, what is our game number 3 going to look like? It is going to be on regions, and we'll be seeing the Abbasid dynasty on regions for LucifroN against the Malians from Wam. Okay, that's going to be an interesting one now. A lot of passive gold being gathered here by the Malians against the Abbasid dynasty.
Yeah,
I mean resource-wise, like, where are you going to put your second TC if you're LucifroN? If you're going to go for a second TC, like, you're going to have to put in, like, the corners, right? Or either there, or you're gonna put it somewhere where there's not a lot of resource to get with it, or at least not a lot of food. That I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Regions is that great of a map for Abbasid. I think it could be a great map for Delhi, but a multi-TC kind of approach here for Abbasid can feel kind of iffy, I think.
You know, I feel like it's one of those that it still makes sense to go multi-TCs. You might not have that prime time like location where you're dropping it on valuable resources that you have your defensive point, but you have to invest in your eco in some way going against Mali. They're going to have their pit mines. They're going to have their Mansa Quarry. They're going to have their cow boom most likely as well, and you need to counteract that somehow.
Yeah, exactly. The cow boom, it just feels like it's pretty much on par with second TC, if not even a little bit better than a second TC. And yeah, I mean, can be pretty tough timing wise. Like once you get that cow boom going, might be very, very tough for the Abbasid to hold that, especially with just Malians being really, really strong as well.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that you can't forget about with the cow boom is it's under your TC or right next to your TC, I guess. And it's very, very safe and secure. It's not like you're running out of these resources, having to like move out on the map to the next berry bush or to the next gold vein. You're like, no, I'm just going to sit right here. I'm good to go.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of berries on this map. So if Abbasid Dynasty finds himself in a position to be able to go into that corner and be safe, LucifroN is going to be very, very happy about that. He's going to be able to gather up a lot of food there.
Yep. You know, you got the it's always funny watching this map because I always feel like there's one civ that wants to go to the berry side and then one of the other civs wants to go over to the deer side, and it's like sometimes they just split their separate ways and they're like, hey, you know, we see some raids, and sometimes they both want to go for the same one.
Yeah, just a little bit further now until we're going to be in our third game of the set. Potential match point now for LucifroN. So Wam really has to give it his all here if he doesn't want to let this one end a 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, it's just never feels good, but doesn't mean you're out of it. Doesn't mean you aren't going to make the qualification spot. Just makes your road a little bit tougher here. So this is where we're going to start seeing what we have in play. We're going to see these build orders, seeing if we have any off-meta play like Mista and B, or if it's just kind of leaning towards what we expect.
Yeah, overlay being initiated now, so just a little bit longer, and we're just about to jump into our third game, and here we go.
Sheep being gathered. LucifroN in the south on Abba, and Wam in the north on Mali.
Let's look at the spawn so far. Looks like... Oh, Malians with the forward goals. This does not feel good.
Not only is it one forward gold, it's every gold of his is going to be forward because this is region. So his secondary gold's right there forward, and then those big gold veins are forward. So he definitely feels like he needs to take some map control to secure his pit mines.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this also feels like if LucifroN scouts this out, which he is definitely going to do, he's going to know that this is going to be a major point of potential weakness here for Wam, these forward pit mines.
Yeah, and you mentioned like where might that secondary TC go for LucifroN, and he has forward stone, so that's not fun for him either. We could see the old age like, hey, just drop that TC on the stone, but that's usually if you want to go third. There's the deer to his south, and there's just the berries to the north. So there's two different spots. It might not be the best because it's a bit of walking time, but it's still not the worst either.
He also has the back deer there, so that's also a pretty good spot there to drop a second TC.
Yeah, going to be very hard to pressure. Wouldn't be too difficult to get into the influence to have that extra torch resistance if needed, and would secure up a good bit of deer for himself, good food for himself for the long term.
All right, I'm wondering what wing we're going to see. Very likely just going to be the military wing here for LucifroN. I don't think any other wing makes sense, especially on a map like this, especially in this matchup. And LucifroN is one of the players, it seems, who doesn't make his House of Wisdom immediately. Instead, he times it, so as soon as he finishes the House of Wisdom, it should be just about in time for him to be able to age up.
Yeah, it's, you know, I see a lot of players do this. They'll go 7 on the food, 3 on the gold, and then the 4th villager that pops out goes onto the House of Wisdom. A lot of times I'll see people go safe and have the 3rd villager go onto the House of Wisdom instead of that 4th gold villager do it. But actually,
yeah, I mean, hmm.
I was gonna say just pulls off of the gold, has one Vil just sitting on gold, maybe just wanting to get enough for his fresh foodstuffs once he ages up.
Yeah, but that's not enough that he's gonna get there with that one villager. I'm wondering what it is for, what it's gonna be for. Whether it might be just for spearman upgrade potentially. Maybe he wants to like all in this one on one base, make a lot of spearmen, try to burn down the pit mine.
Oh, now we're talking. I'm all in for some one base ABBA play. The rarity that we get to see that, but it's always fun when we do.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there it is. Exactly. 35 gold that he has now for the spearman upgrade. So that's exactly what he's going to be going for. All right.
Yeah, heading on over to those stragglers. Should be able to get that barracks down soon. Oh, and there it is. The barracks is already being dropped. Can start queuing up those, and we'll easily be able to get a lumber camp and have all of the food and wood in the world to keep producing and getting some map control.
It's gonna need another house here, because if you don't have the 4 pop space available as you age up, the units aren't gonna spawn from the military wing. They're just gonna wait until you suddenly have the pop space, and then they're gonna spawn. Could potentially delay LucifroN if he isn't going for that early house, but I think he's gonna be working on that. Yep, there it goes. He has made his house. There we go. Military wing unit spawns immediately. More spearmen in queue.
Yeah, and this is where Wam was able to see that barracks already finished on the front side of the TC of LucifroN, so he knows he needs to get an archer range out, knows he needs to counteract this play coming from LucifroN.
And behind this very aggressive play with the immediate barracks, LucifroN is going to stone right after, so he's going to still look for his second TC play.
Yep, and there's the quicker archery range, and let's see what kind of reaction Wam has to it. If it's going to be like the equal one, or if it's just going to be a little bit of an overreaction here with how many archers / jabs he produces.
And it's going to be the archers here early on for Wam. I mean, it's probably still going to lose 1 to 2 houses here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really feel good about taking the fight until you at least got 3 archers, but one house already falls. That first archer steps up and immediately has to run on away because LucifroN reacts correctly to it with his 2.
The archer advantage is still there for LucifroN right now, so Wam still can't really do anything against the archer play. Now he got a second archer out. Now he might be able to finally take some good trades against these archers. But the second house is sure to go down as well, and it's starting to get a little bit annoying here now for him. Might actually be a third house now that he will lose against this early push here from LucifroN. And half of the units here out on the field were free for LucifroN. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, and a really good trade there by LucifroN. He was able to pick up that archer, just delays those spears from getting cleared up that much longer. So the third house does go down, and he knows not to overstay his welcome, just pulls right back on away.
And with that, Wam is actually pop cap now. Has to build another house in order to be able to produce units. And I mean, LucifroN's the timing is just really, really good. He was able to put out so much pressure. And now there's going to be a second TC coming up.
Yep, foundation's already on the ground, and Wam's having to rebuild houses rather than invest into cattle ranches, into cows, things of that sort, because he's had to invest into that, deterring that military wing.
And now Wam finally has access to his second gold, so the second pit mine gets dropped here. Boar is going to be pulled on that villager, running for his life. He's going to be able to escape, though.
Spears jumping in on the archer, just causing a little bit more of a headache. Those spears didn't run all the way home, but just doing the, hey, I got out of vision, and now I'm going to step right back in when you stopped thinking about me.
Second C is now up and in play for LucifroN. How's the eco looking for Wam? He's managed to grab a couple of upgrades now with the free gold that he gets. So he's getting double broadaxe, he's gotten wheelbarrow. Eco upgrades on point for him. LucifroN is now making some cavalry. Barracks immediately coming out there for Wam.
And Wam does have one full cattle ranch already. We saw another cow just pop out, but not having the wood to be able to continuously build those ranches to fill them on up.
passive food is going to be coming in for Wham, which always feels great. You're able to stack that up early on in the feudal age. And then once you get up to castle age, you go up with the Grand London Corral, and then the food just comes in very, very quickly for you. Now, Donzos are being built as well. There's only a single archer right now in the army for LucifroN. Is very likely going to have to make an archery range. And there it is. Archery range has been built. So now archers being produced as well. He's got one of each production building. And with that, he's going to have his full army composition. Now it's just a matter of just pumping out as many units as possible, get to a really big army, and then push onto those pit mines.
Yep, and all during that time with that pressure, he's going to be buffing his eco off of 2 TCs because he's already got that one down. He's got fresh foodstuffs finished as well, and not having to fully invest his food into those 2 TCs either.
Exactly. So economy scaling looking good here for LucifroN, but with the Abbasid, with the Malians, you always have that timing with the cow boom, in which even that second TC, even though there is a second TC, you still have a better food income for quite a while into the game. And potentially, if your opponent doesn't respect that, you could mass an army big enough in order to just take down the Abbasid here.
Yeah, army numbers still relatively even, but still going to be some time until we start to see these economical differences. Wham's been investing into those passive resources, and LucifroN invested into extra villagers.
Horsemen out on the field here for LucifroN, trying to potentially find some value here with potential raids. But the base from Wham looks pretty secure for now, a part of these forward gold spawns. Has the left side already secure with a palisade wall.
Yeah, the one nice thing about having the double forward gold spawns is he can just rally his military there, and he knows what he needs to defend. Wall up behind and then defend the gold forward.
Alright, gold completely built the house around the pit mines. Now we got double stable, double archery range. So it's just going to be a very, very food expensive army here with the horsemen and the archers as well. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. And Wham is now going into javelin throwers as well. Like a good mixture of archers and javelin throwers can still do a lot of damage to the horsemen as well. And horseman army, we talked about it earlier, it's just really clunky. When it gets into these choke points, the horsemen can't really connect that well.
Yeah, it's really a work of art when you see someone utilize the horsemen to their full effect as they should, spreading out, really getting all their attacks in. Usually it's just 1 or 2 out of the group of 10 getting attacks in, though.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're dealing with Sipahi. Sipahi getting the bonus range means that it's much, much easier for them to be able to fight, even in choke points.
But now we've just kind of been in this little mid-game stall out. Both players investing into military, investing into economy, but not having the knowledge or the information enough to press forward or enough units to feel like they can actually do damage to have it worth it.
Blacksmith upgrades now coming in for both players. LucifroN's got a scary amount of horsemen right now, but Wham, 13 Donzos should be able to deal with that as long as he's able to keep them alive.
Yeah, Donzo able to like throw those spears and really pick off or get a good amount of damage in before the main engagement happens. And so let's see if that ends up coming to fruition. Archers just being the front line for now for Wham and deterring LucifroN for now.
Spears getting thrown onto the enemy spearmen here. And looks like LucifroN might actually be trying to engage here. That is quite weird. There's still way too many Donzos here. Micro happening. Attacking the spearmen here first. Now needs to focus the archers with his own archers. Donzo's coming into the front line. Archers getting picked off here for LucifroN, and I don't think that LucifroN can take this fight.
No, Wham is definitely winning this fight. He's pushing LucifroN's military mass back. The archer numbers just got obliterated, and Wham's sitting at 21 archers. He's got more than enough Donzo to protect them up from any sort of horseman raid, and LucifroN needs to regroup, rethink this.
Yeah, LucifroN just got heavily burned, and behind that, he's adding 2 more archer range, so he really wants to commit to making this push happen in feudal age. Wham, he's continuing to wall off the map here, making sure that he can't get raided by the pretty big amount of horsemen that LucifroN has out on the map right now. And behind that, he's just continuing to mass up his own army.
Yep, just continue to boom on up, continue to make those cows, and just defend your pit mines. That is your lifeline right now for the Mali player.
LucifroN adding more archers to the queue right now, trying to recreate the army that he just lost. And Wam, interestingly enough, he's not adding too many more javelins, not adding more javelins at all right now. He's just going full in for the archers, which I think is the correct move. Javelins in mass, they don't really do a ton here, just because the attack speed isn't the greatest and they tend to overkill a lot. So just having a couple of them should be enough. Horseman once again going for the aggression here, and there's a ram also being built behind us. So LucifroN really trying to go pedal to the metal here.
Yeah, which feels really weird, doubling down on the ram after you just lose a fight beforehand without it, but maybe just thinks that maybe Wam's on the back foot, had to reposition, had to go on to some other resource nodes, and he has the better eco to mass back up faster and with a vengeance.
There we go. Ram is now starting to hit the pit mine. Wam pushing forward with his units. The Donzos aren't there right now for him. Is a little bit out of position here. Only has a couple of Donzos. Actually enough in order to buff it against these horsemen for now. Donzos now in. Has to focus the archers with his own archers. Isn't doing so. Is fighting against the horsemen for now. Now he's focusing the archers. A lot of Donzos going down in the meantime though. Has to be careful though. If he loses the Donzos, the horseman can dive.
Yeah, and all this time, the ram is just onto the pit mine behind this, takes down the pit mine with this next, with this next one, I think, and then houses will be soon to follow after that.
Yeah, that has to hurt right now, especially since Wam, he's not too far from being pop-capped, so if 2 houses go down, then he'll be pop-capped, but now LucifroN is trying to take this battle, but actually does lose a lot of his horsemen there. Archer numbers somewhat even, but let's not forget behind this, LucifroN, he's got the military wing. His archers are a little bit stronger because they have bonus HP.
Yeah, the horseman number down to the single digits. It's all about archers on either side, but Wam, he is the one massing up at home, denied off of his gold, denied off of those lifelines that I was talking about.
A lot of these units are just focusing the ram right now, a little bit out of position here for him. Horseman going down though, but it's still difficult in this archer battle right now against the bootcamp archers here from LucifroN. Second pit mine about to go down.
Yep, second pit mine burning. Vill's pulled to go try to heal that one back on up. Horseman still trying to mass back up to be this front line, but Donzos are there to easily deal with that. And the pit mine goes down, so no houses focus. It was just both pit mines. LucifroN just struck right for that gold production, but look at Wam's resources. He's about to go castle.
This could be a dangerous timing. I mean, Wam, he still has a lot of archers remaining. If he's able to get veterancy on these, it's going to look very good for him. And the pit mine is up just like that again. And Grand Villani Corral is dropped. How many cattle does Wam already have behind this?
I mean, I'm assuming he's got 5 ranches full. That's just assumption based off of what I see on the mini-map. Oh my God.
He's looking good. He's looking very good there. All right. Go Wam. This is looking good for him now.
Yeah, so he's just constantly been able to produce that up. So this is where like people question, they're like, hey, which one's better, an extra TC or cattle ranches? Well, with the Grand Villani Corral being activated, these cattle ranches are about to be through the roof in their food production.
Yeah, and let's not forget behind this, as soon as Wam is able to get to the next age, the Malians, they get a bonus where, so that's a deer there. The Malians get a bonus where their veterancy upgrades cost 50% less and get research twice as fast. So as soon as the age-ups comes in, he's going to be able to immediately click a lot of these veterancy upgrades. Gonna have to be careful not to fight too early though.
New age begins. Ram's right back on top of that pit mine. He doesn't have the numbers, but he's about to have that veterancy. But he doesn't have the gold to get upgrades.
He does now. He's clicked it. He had a couple of javelin throws in the queue, which kind of blocked it there. Gonna have to wait now though for the upgrade to come in. It's not too long until it comes in, but until then, his gold income is gonna be very, very limited for now.
And LucifroN not too far behind with his own timing. The scary part I have for Wam is if LucifroN gets a minute and a half past this and has a similar archer number than he does now, I don't see Wam winning this. Veterancy came through. LucifroN needs to fall.
Is doing so right now. I mean, the archer count right now for Wam, it's very, very low. I'm not quite sure what exactly he's going here now for behind this. He still has a couple of villagers on food, I believe. I think he can just switch completely off of them now.
He's going
And
for
actually, the
sofa
number-
swap.
Without gold, that's going to be really, really tough. Yeah, he's actually losing a lot of the archers here right now as well. There's a lot of archers in the queue still for LucifroN. LucifroN has got gold. He's going to be able to just click all the upgrades now. Villager's getting pulled, but I don't think that Wam has enough control here.
He
on the
doesn't.
front side in order to go for that villager pull.
There's 45 archers still. More archers in queue. Composite bows, veteran upgrades are going to come through in 30 seconds. LucifroN's going to have more than enough to do so, and Wam just lost his front side, and Wam might have just lost this series here now.
Oh, this looks really rough. I think as soon as the H-up comes in, it's GG.
Yeah.
Wam just doesn't have the resources.
And
He's pretty
even
much
still,
fucked as well.
yeah, with 50 composite bows archers, once the upgrades do come through, the only thing that can deal with that is siege, and that takes a long time to transition into.
These sofas, I mean, they don't have the imported armors, right? I don't think that Wam had enough gold. Yeah, he didn't have enough gold, and now the Castle Age comes in, and with that, it feels like it's just as well GG. Composite Bows immediately gets queued, doesn't have the gold quite yet in order to go for the veterancy as well.
Still able to
like
two volley the sofas, so not the worst case when there's only a few trickling in.
Yeah, it's a lot, and there we go. Veterancy and the +2 damage is coming in as well, and behind that, the entire front line from Wam is just gone. It's just gone. As much armor as the sofas have, it's just too many archers. Against such an archer ball, you need siege, but siege is just too expensive right now for Wam to afford. And this might just be GG.
And look at that micro. LucifroN splitting into two different groups, focusing firing on all of the archers, letting the sofa just attack because he knows that the archer's still doing a good amount of damage. Then he can just clear up the small sofa number once the upgrade comes through, and now these archers are machine guns.
Yeah, composite bows. A big increase to the DPS. Sofas going down. It's only trickle of sofas. Wam desperately trying to get the gold access, but all the gold is forward, and that just hurts so much. And now Knights and the composite bows and the veterancy and the +2 damage. And GG gets called. LucifroN with the 3-0 against Wam.
What a series. LucifroN just making it look so clean there with his civilization choices, with the matchups he had, and just great game. Even though it was a 3-0, there were some close abilities for Wam to come back there, but LucifroN just proved to be a little too much.